Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at Monza. And it's going to be a lovely time here in Italy. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Aaron Smith. We got Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
It's going to be a fantastic race from our perspective. We've got Monza, which I actually don't think we've been here in 3.5s in quite a while. So from that perspective already, it's going to be an absolutely amazing race, since a lot of these drivers have absolutely no idea how to take this track in these cars. And, well, I think if there's one thing we can guarantee, it's probably going to be that Eddie Zamborski's going to set a pretty quick lap time during this qualifying session. But who knows what's going to happen over the next 8 minutes.
Well, Eddie Zamborski, historically, in the last few seasons, the current best Formula 3.5 driver. Now, there have been drivers to also join him on that mountain. The legendary Tim Delisle, James J. Meesker, Eddie Zamborski are I would say the top 3 winningest drivers, but Eddie has really come onto his own, and everybody else just kind of in that fight for second place. But we have seen issues for Eddie, particularly around starting and driving around anybody else. So this is going to be a very important qualifying session for Eddie Zamborski and around Monza to be particular. Monza famous for its unfortunate lap 1 incidents. We're looking at drivers in qualifying right now. Jamie Byrne sporting the rarely seen medium downforce package. Look at that rear wing, a lot shallower than we see a lot of the other drivers do. Sorry about that. We might be seeing that happen during the race session, but usually we see drivers qualify with a high downforce wing right here, and DRS always going to be in use, especially in qualifying. Thank you everybody for joining us in chat. Shout out to Amal Yanes, longtime driver of the Formula 3.5, but now longtime viewer of the 3.5 Championship here on Apex Racing TV. And yes, we're here on iRacing where network crashes rarely happen.
Yeah, I think for once everyone who's watching this is going to understand that reference. We've made many references this season, but I think that's probably the first one where everyone's going to be, oh, I understand that one.
Yes. And the
Mm.
stock has dropped just a little bit more.
Anyway.
Qualifying still going on. We're still here. At the very start of qualifying, nobody has set a lap time yet, as nobody's come across the line yet. First driver currently right now is Jason Sieg, ahead of everybody else as he's put down a green sector, then orange sector. So on his outlap, he has slowed down. He's actually set a purple sector time on that back straightaway, heading into the renamed parabolic curve and down into that front straightaway. And across the line, Jason Sieg will be putting himself onto provisional pole shortly with one purple sector 133.5. And there's Keeman Ishirakawa, Crespo, and Wysemaisky, the top 5 in there. Jason Sieg still at the very top. And that is taken by Josh Stewart with a 135.5. Jason's teammate. So it's a Downforce Racing 1-2 so far in qualifying.
Yeah, we're getting some interesting times coming in on our timing screens. And oddly enough, I don't think Eddie Zamborski's actually on a very good lap, which I don't think has ever been said in the history of this series. But hey-ho, I'll claim kudos to that. But we've got two Aussies, 1 and 2 at the moment, setting pretty competitive lap times.
Jason Sieg has decided to just do one lap and then park it.
Oh.
I feel like there might have been a little bit of a touchy grass, crashy, lashy moment.
I mean, that's one way to describe it, but I strangely enough, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird track to have an impact with the wall with, but then again, you might have just gone an off track with.
No. If you see me drive around here, I've crashed into every wall.
Yes, but that's you. You crash into every wall with every car, flipping it over every single time. That's unique to you.
Okay, but I've seen it happen to other drivers. It's easy to go a little bit wide, especially in Lesmo 1 and 2. Catch a little bit of the gravel off the exit and then shoot yourself into the inside wall. Big incident spot right here. We've seen it happen in the Apex Racing Academy Formula 4, Formula 3 series, as well as multiple things. I think Aaron just slapped himself in the face because he remembered that he did that. As Phil Reed jumps up into second place.
How did you know I slapped myself by accident? I accidentally dropped my phone and tried to catch it and slapped myself. I don't know how you would have guessed that, but I guess
I know that sound of people slapping themselves very familiarly.
Yeah, Eddie Zamborski only goes 4th place.
Yeah, that's shocking. That was his second qualifying lap. So that is Eddie starting at least in the second row. We saw that start he got in Spain where he jumped into the front, but now he's dropped down to 5th as Sergio jumps up into 3rd, Spaniard, pushing Eddie Zamborski down. And we still have 2 drivers to put down their final lap times. Jason Sieg, can he improve on his lap? No, he does not. Jorge Lopez currently sitting in 9th place. He sets 2 purple sectors. Can Lopez jump onto provisional pole? As I'm not going to question what that was.
I was rubbing my hands together because he looks like he's on a good lap. Is it good enough for pole?
Yes, it is.
It is. Wait, I rubbed my hands together for a reason. So, Austin, you can go beep yourself.
For those of you who don't know why we're laughing, Jonathan is a comedian. Thank you, Jonathan, for that. And positive aspect of the session is still up.
I wouldn't do that on stream. I think. Oh god, what's happened to this series? Why?
I'm just smirking at this point, just listening to you lose it. It's just weird to take
I can't. Oh, Jonathan's broken me. I can't. Oh god, we've got 2 minutes until the start of the race. Oh, give me time to calm down.
All right, well, Aaron goes and resets his brain. We're here on the starting grid, and here is your starting lineup. Here at Monza, Jorge Lopez will be starting up on pole position ahead of Josh Stewart, with Phil Reed in third, followed by Sergio Macias in fourth. Jason Segan, Eddie Samborski right behind him, followed by I Am Keeman, Omar Baja, Dennis Ferksheim, Mark Ponick, Yuki Shirakawa, Miguel Crespo, Luis Marguan, Dennis Cornu, Valerio Tavares, James Byrne, Luke Brucker, Eric Weissemaisky, Jamie Byrne, and Yaya Ennis Ankin at the back of our 20-car grid here at Monza, as all the drivers are getting on, well, gridding up, basically.
I'm fixed.
Everyone's lining up and getting themselves all in order. Aaron especially. And getting ready to chase down these 5 red lights. As we sit on board of our pole position. You got that clear run down into turn 1, but which line do you want to take heading into turn 1 if you are Jorge Lopez? And you get the better start, you clear Josh Stewart, you want to take that outside line, or you want to defend that inside line? We're going to find out. 5 red lights as we are green here on Monza. It's a bad start by Lopez. It's an amazing start by Josh Stewart. Stewart takes the lead immediately. Phil Reed and Sergio are going to be side by side. We're going 4 wide in the background as somebody is interpreting a snake. As we go 3 wide, it's a dive down the middle. Ooh. And we got 1 car missing the apex. We got 2 cars, 3 cars. It was Jorge Lopez who just avoided the corner as we got cars up in the air, bouncing it over each other. Oh no, we need another red flag, and it's going to be another incident of me begging iRacing to please put red flags, especially at Monza. Eddie Samborski takes the lead. He found his way clear through that incident, and with Jorge Lopez cutting the track, he has to do that slowdown penalty, and he drops down to second place. Sergio Macias and Omar Baja are battling side by side through that secondary chicane and diving into Lesmo 1 and 2. Omar Baja and Dennis Fergheim go side by side. As you can see, all these drivers now in that medium difference, and no contact between Fergheim and Baja, and Baja goes off into the wall with Dennis Fergheim as well. And that is a very damaged Formula 3.5 car. Rear wing has been deleted.
Well, it's a bit of a trade-off now. It was looking to be such an entertaining race. The top 6 were all so close, and well, it's all been absolutely trashed and ruined. Let's take a replay.
Well, you can see the dive up the middle completely failed and touched Josh Stewart, who had an amazing start on the inside of the track. This is Dennis Cornu jumping. Well, he was trying to avoid all that incident. Unfortunately, got involved into an incident.
So
by himself.
He sort of he kind of tried to I don't know, he just tried to cut the corner and just messed it up completely. But this is what happened to Omar Baja coming into the second Lesmo. It's just too close for comfort on lap 1, and well, there was only one way that was going to end.
In the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Back live pictures in the battle for 4th. Mark Ponick under pressure by I Am Keeman. Got another pack diving it into turn 1. That's the number 19 of Yaya Ennis Ankin leading out this field with James Byrne right behind him. As turn 1 is going to be big here. And you can see everybody, I believe, using that medium downforce for the race. It's going to be making passing on the straights just a little bit harder for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a few times in other series like Formula 3 that most of the time running a higher downforce setup.
Oh, Luke
Oh my god.
Was that a break? Luke just slowed down immediately heading into Lesmo 1. That looked like the biggest brake check I've seen on Dennis Cornu. Apologies are going over the radio right there. I feel
think
like
he said hardware failure.
yeah, that looks like a hardware failure because it was just slowed down much more than what it was used to. So this is Dennis Cornu, and you're going to be seeing the car right in front of him just slam on the brakes, and oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
well.
This has been one kind of race start, isn't it?
Welcome to the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, this has happened a few times this season where qualifying, it looks like we're going to get an interesting race, and then it just goes to hell. But anyway, here is James Bond trying to pip and move. Never mind.
Now, what series does that remind me of?
I understood that reference. I think
Yuki
there's been a crash
Shirakawa,
into turn 1.
I think missed the, yep, he did miss the corner, and he does have damage to the front wing of Yuki Shirakawa. It's all crumbled up right there.
I feel like that's happened every single race this season.
Shirakawa in an incident or damage?
Both.
Well, you have to get damage to be in an incident.
Not always. You can just crash by yourself. That works.
Does that still count as having an incident?
Shut up. Shh.
I think I contradicted myself. Now you just tried to defend me.
And I've messed that one up, haven't I? It's not been a great start, has it?
Welcome to the Formula 5 series, ladies and gentlemen, where the commentators find each other while we watch cars race around the track.
Formula 5.
3.5.
I love Formula 5.
Welcome to me backing myself up. Speaking of Formula 5, though, have you seen the Formula 4 teaser that iRacing put out on Twitter?
Yes, I did. And I'm really questioning why they're bothering, since they already have Formula V, which is basically Formula 4. But, I mean... I don't understand.
I have theories, but I'm never good at these theories, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I like the Formula 4. It's a more modern Formula V.
I thought they were remapping or like remaking the Formula V. That's why I was so confused when I first saw it. I was like, what?
Well, if they're remaking it, well, that's the most modern way to do it with the Formula 4.
Yeah, I guess.
4, not 4.
Yeah, I know.
And I can't say Formula 4 legally.
Why not? Oh, yeah, no. I understand. Yeah. Because technically...
Miguel Crespo has fallen down to 7th place, battling with Phil Reed in that fight for 6th place. Let's go look at that as we fly through his scar right now. And it's Phil Reed on a controller ahead of Miguel Crespo and catching a little bit of grass off the exit right there.
Just a tiny bit. Kind of a little bit of grass on the edge of the scar is never a bad thing. Unless you're all the way on the grass, then maybe it is.
And as you heard that right, Phil Reed drives on a controller.
I think it was Indianapolis, was it, this season, that he, like, moved his way all the way up to 3rd at one point on that controller? Yes. I think it was.
Phil Reed has a history of just doing amazing things in this car that you and I will never be able to do on a controller. And it's just impressive. Maybe. As James Byrne goes down to the inside of Yuki Shirakawa, diving it up onto the inside, but Shirakawa trying to hold it around the outside. He leaves a space on the inside of him, but Byrne gets him off the exit and jumps up into 11th place as these drivers are trying to figure their way out of this pretty much alphabet soup of a race as we go side by side, heading into turn 2. And it's Anakin side by side with Luis. Luis goes up onto the inside, jumps over the curb, and makes that move work as the second set of chicanes, not turn 2. Turn 4, technically. Thank you, Aaron. The
I
second
love
braking
Italian
zone.
tracks.
The second braking zone. I love
Mm.
chicanes too.
I that's okay. That's not what I said.
You said you love Italian tracks.
Yeah.
I just like chicanes. Because I just say
Well, that's-
second set of cars.
That's maybe. Well, actually, chicanes are the only corner you can take. Every other corner you just.
I'm pretty
Off
sure
the
I
nose.
do not flat out Lesmo 1 and 2. Or Parabolica.
Press X to out.
I have done it once in a Formula V.
There you go. You've crashed every single car, every single track. I swear. I'm not even lying at this point.
Yes. I'm the Mark Marquez of iRacing. I just crashed everywhere. Unfortunately, I did not have the winning record.
I wonder what people think when they watch these races back. Just what are these guys on about?
Things.
Yeah. I feel like you and I have both just given up on this series, like commentating. I know you have. You just don't care anymore. I envy you.
You're right. These guys have broken me. I've been doing this series for about 3 years, and yeah.
Everyone in this lobby feels no empathy, actually. I was going to say some empathy, but no, they don't feel any towards you. Especially, you know.
Anyway, as we continue on, here at Parabolica, this is Mark Ponick ahead of I Am Keeman. As they dive down to the inside, trying to break that draft, but it's immediately followed right now. So your nose to tail heading into turn one. Look at that draft gaining, and then he just kind of stalls out right there, unable to gain more speed. So he stays behind, trying to beat him into braking zone or into the corner to force a little bit of pressure. He looks at him jumping over the curb right there, trying to gain more speed, but it's not going to happen for Ian Keeman. But still in that draft, could be looking for another dive up onto the inside right now as we head through Curva Grande. As big push to the outside, a little bit sideways. As we go side by side, Keeman down to the inside, side by side we go. Big dive down low, and I Am Keeman jumps up into 4th place. Good move by I Am Keeman. But now the ball is in Mark Ponick's court. Are we going to be seeing a move by Mark?
Possibly he could go for a move. I mean, I think this track offers some of the most overtaking opportunities of any track, really, because you've got this run down to Ascari, the run down to the last corner, the run down into turn 1, the run down into turn 4. There's just so many opportunities, especially in cars like this where you have DRS. The slipstream's pretty powerful. Yeah, there's a bit of dirty air, but I just feel like this track offers good kind of racing in these kind of cars. And as I was saying at the start of the race, it's a bit of a shame that, you know, everyone in the top 6 crashed. Otherwise, we might have had a pretty good battle for the lead of the race.
Eric Rasmussen stuck in the middle of this 3-car fight. Josh Stewart looking down to the inside as they're in the draft, and Miguel Crespo up ahead. Straight away, all in that draft. Who's going to be the one to make that move? Is it going to be Josh at the back? Or is it going to be Eric? It's going to be Eric right now, looking down to the inside. They go side by side, headed into turn 1. Eric sends it down low, and he makes it work as the teammates of the Downforce Racing team decide to swap spots in a very smart manner, keeping Josh Stewart in there and continuing that fight with Eric. And I think Eric is going to be under pressure from Josh very soon.
I think something is happening to Crespo because, I don't know, he's just not seemed on it this race at all. He's just lost position after position. I think either he just gained a lot of positions off the start, or I don't know. He might.
Does he have damage? That's the thing. I think
He might be
damage.
up 2 places, but at one point he was up in 5th or 6th place. So just a bit curious as to what's happened to his pace. Again, I don't know if he gained a lot of places during the
Yes,
chaotic
he did.
opening few laps. But
He had a really good first lap and avoided a lot of that chaos. And he
Mm.
qualified down in 12th place. So now that everybody's kind of getting their car back onto its pace after that incident, we're going to start seeing drivers go back to their pace around. Because some drivers just have that pace and can't really adapt to the race. I'm one of those drivers. Usually I get
We
lucky
know.
on lap 1, and then next thing I'm being passed by everybody else. This is Yaya looking down to the inside of Yuki Shirakawa. Shirakawa still driving that damage on his front wing. So Yaya looking to be making that move heading into turn 1. Or even before turn 1, so we go side by side already.
Yeah, that's probably one of the draggiest Formula 3.5 cars in existence with that damaged front wing, and I think he. No, I was
Yuki
going to say.
is daring on the dive down low, and Yuki Shirakawa defends that really well. Well, the car might be draggy, but he's still racy. As Stewart and Eric are fighting it out for 8th place. Mark Ponick has gone off the track just a little bit, but he's back on.
I feel like it's just the off tracks on this track that we're seeing right now, because this track is known for being quite bad on the off tracks, as many iRacers will vouch. But here's a replay of Josh Stewart getting past Wyzomowski into turn 4, one of the many overtaking opportunities I was talking about, and nice and easy move, got it done even before the corner.
Down low, making that work easy, and Josh Stewart, we definitely know he has the pace around here. Qualified second, had the best start of everybody, and was in the lead. Unfortunately, just got tapped on the inside wheel and just threw his race upside down. He was definitely in the running to be winning this race after turn 1, but unfortunately, lap 1 of Monza strikes him.
Yeah, I even before. Oh, there's Akin getting past Shirakawa. He went very wide around the final corner. I think he might even be under pressure from Tavares behind.
Yes. As there goes Valerio down to the inside, but he's just staying back. Shirakawa could dive it up low. Yes, he does. Shirakawa going down to the inside, but he just couldn't get the car slowed down. But he forces a mistake for the car ahead, and everybody's parking it off the apex. Well, he forced a mistake off Yaya Anasankin heading into turn 1, and Yuki Shirakawa still in this fight right now with that damaged car. 13th place, Yuki Shirakawa looking down low, diving it up onto the inside. Side by side they go. Yaya Anasankin, though, beats him in the braking zone, which I'm going to believe is going to be his best part heading into Lesmo 2. Side by side right now. Lesmo 1, and it's going to be Yuki Shirakawa, but here comes Valerio. Valerio looking down to the inside of Lesmo 2, but he backs it off and keeps it pretty much safe as the cars ahead of him are really involved in this fight right now. Racing down the one underneath the oval and on to Ascari. Are we going to be seeing another dive? Yes, we are. Yaya looking down to the inside of Ascari. Sells a little bit of a dummy as they continue this fight, and it's going to be Yaya now advantage heading into turn 1 with that draft. If it lasts that long, because I feel like he's going to go for it again.
I'm just surprised that Shirakawa isn't, well, falling back even more with this front wing damage. I mean, maybe it's just the lack of this car being updated that's affecting the drag. I'm not sure, because if you had that kind of damage on a Formula 3 car, Akin would already be ahead by now, but nevertheless, they're going side by side into turn 1, and
Yuki
for the third
is
time
fast.
round,
Damage
Yuki
or
is
not,
fast.
Yuki is always fast, and he tries to hold it around the outside, but unable to do it as Anasankin jumps up into 13th with a good move down to the inside and keeps it locked right there. Is now looking right behind Yuki Shirakawa. That's Valerio, that number 20 machine. Defending onto the inside is Yuki Shirakawa. Cuts across the front nose, trying to stay ahead, and yes, he does. Well defended by Yuki Shirakawa as they continue on. Good 3-car fight going on, but we also got a good fight up for 4th place between Keeman and Ponick through Ascari.
Yeah, you mentioned Shirakawa being quick, but I don't think he can push the pedal harder to go quicker in a straight line. But yeah, he's defending superbly to keep that 14th spot. But nevertheless, Keeman and Ponic been sort of trading places back and forth over the last 12 laps as Lopez sets a new fastest lap. He's slowly gaining on Zamborski. We might see a battle for the lead over the next few laps coming. But nevertheless, we got a battle here for fourth as into turn one. Is Ponic
Here's
gonna
Ponic.
be alongside enough to go for a move? He is. He's already ahead before the braking zone.
That's
and
a big
Ooh.
set. It's a little bit too deep on the brakes. And look at this switchback opportunity by Keeman, but Keeman unable to do it. And Mark Ponic jumps up into fourth, but now he's got to keep his eyes in his mirrors right now. Where is he going to defend? Is he going to try to push Keeman onto the outside of the track? Yes, he does. He goes wide, and here comes Keeman. Keeman is on the outside, but that sets up Ponic to dive it up low. And Ponic, well, he took all that curve right there. He's going to have to watch out. I'll take that inside
Reed's
line.
behind.
Then Phil Reed has joined the fight. 3-car fight for fourth place. And also, to go back to that point of pushing the pedal harder, unfortunately to Jeremy Clarkson, it's not as easy as just going faster than the other guys.
No, you don't turn the wheel and just decide to go a bit faster. We all wish it was like that. It's not a Cars movie, unfortunately. But Phil Reed really doing well on that controller. I don't know how he's doing that.
Thank you for bringing back my nostalgia and love for animated movies.
Well, Cars is the greatest animated movie of all time, so let's deny it. And Reed is already going
And
for the
Phil
move
Reed
before turn one.
Down low, side by side, and makes it work.
Very surprising. I mean, don't know if that was the smartest decision. It may come back to bite him, but I think he's activated DRS. It's very difficult to tell with these cars, but he is gaining very quickly.
He's in that draft. He's keeping down low as the 15 of Keeman just stays away from this as Reed tries to send around the outside, but a mistake! And Phil Reed gets 2 cars in 2 corners. Phil Reed up into fourth as Mark Ponic falls under pressure, locks up, and Keeman looks smart after that. He backed away. He's like, I'm just going to let y'all have it. Mistake, stays in the same spot. Keeman in fifth.
I thought Ponic had... Oh, there's a bit of smoke ahead. Has someone had a bit of an incident?
I think Sergio.
No, he's fine. Maybe a lapped car? I think it was a lapped car. Tavares is in the pits.
It might have been a... Oh, yeah, Tavares is in the pit lane. Nope, that is into turn one, but let's still see what happens. As this is behind Yuki Shirakawa. And... Oh, no.
Ooh, that's how baby Formula 3.5 cars are made.
Also known as a Formula V.
I understood that. I don't know why I feel the need to mention that I understood it, but there you are, adding to my commentary. Anyway, let's move on. Lopez sets a new fastest lap of the race. Oh, they keep trading back fastest laps over the past, I think, 5
Lopez
laps?
is getting closer to that draft range of Eddie Samborski. I feel like he's just right on the outside of that bubble.
They do keep trading fastest lap. I think the lap before, yeah, look, I mean, it's been like 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. Then Lopez was fast. It's been very up and down, but overall, yeah, Lopez has been slowly catching. But obviously, we don't know if he's been using DRS to do that. We don't know.
Yeah, the unfortunate... It's the only car that has a limited amount of use of going faster. Has a usage of a device that we cannot track. We can track the U.S. Open Wheeler B's push to pass system. We can also... I think that's actually the only one that we can track. Joker laps, of course.
Well, it's not really a usage thing in the car, but yeah, it is kind of annoying that we can't track really when they're using it because
they only have 8 uses.
It is. I mean, one, it's very difficult to tell if they're using DRS since it's such a tiny gap. Like when I'm saying tiny, I mean get a dinner plate at home, pick it up. That's probably the gap. But I'm doing it right now, and yeah, that's probably the gap of the rear wing.
We're talking about height-wise, not width-wise.
Yeah, yeah. I still think it probably would be about that.
Unless we're talking about a pizza plate, then we might need to stack a few of those on top of each other.
Well, you could probably fit your fingers through it, and that's about it. Ish, give or
I'm
take.
notoriously fat fingers.
Have you put your fingers through a Formula 3.5 rear wing?
No, because I've never seen one in person.
Well, then there you go. Neither have I. I don't think anybody has for over 10 years. Give or take.
We need to ask somebody at Renault. It's like, hey, how wide is this wing?
Ask Daniel Ricciardo. He raced them, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
What's he doing now?
There was no need for that violation. I can't tell if you like Daniel Ricciardo or not. I think you do. Yes? No? You don't know.
I love the fact that he loves Texas.
Well, that's because you're the most patriarchal person in the world.
Yeah, I guess I do like him. I do like Danny.
And there you go. I think something's happened to Lopez because he's just lost about a second.
Half a second gone at least.
I'm guessing
look at
the slowdown at turn 1.
He might have got a slowdown.
Actually?
I feel like he might have locked up heading into Ascari. Because it was a very sudden drop off, and Ascari is very easy to lose it. He might have lost it off the exit. There's no off tracks in our event, so yeah, I think it's just the exit out of Ascari to be the cause of this gap that has just formed for Lopez.
Bit of a shame since, you know, we were hoping we were going to get a big fight for the lead.
Well, don't count him out just yet. This race is not over.
We've got like 6 laps to go, and you know, trying to catch Eddie Zandvorsky in 6 laps from 2 seconds.
Everyone said that the 24 hours of this French race was gone, and then the last lap a few years later, overtake for the lead. So, hey, anything can happen.
Yes, anything can happen, but you have to look at the likelihood of things that will happen.
Yeah, these guys are not running Toyota engines, so they look like it's not going to blow up randomly.
And Lopez is losing even more time. Someone who isn't losing, actually no, he did lose time, is Keenan a little bit to Reed, but has now grabbed onto the back of that Formula 3.5 car, and Ponick behind after that early mistake into turn 1, sort of paying the price now as Keenan smartly not really going for that move into the last corner, as it kind of just, one, it ruins your run along this main straight and just leaves you very vulnerable to the car behind. And I'm surprised we really haven't seen any DRS activations from Keeman all race, but he might be able to get the move done just with the slipstream. I don't think so, though. I think he's actually staying behind, I think. I heard him lift off.
I know some drivers only use DRS when they're leading, because in this medium downforce, when you use DRS, you kind of just top out the rev limiter. It's kind of pointless. So if he gets ahead, he could try to use that DRS right there. But, oh, he's picked up a slowdown. That is actually a slower car, and I've gone cross-eyed.
I was very confused why you said that. I was like, no, he hasn't. He's just lapping another car.
You know, I didn't see that car the first time.
One thing I will say, I can't quite tell, but are these cars bottoming out on the straights, or am I going crazy? Because I feel like they're getting very close to the ground. I think I'm going insane.
At certain parts, yes.
We'll have a look. But anyway, yeah, Keeman's just losing a bunch of time right now. I don't know. On that last lap, he was right on the back of Reed, and then this lap's just sort of decided to fall off. I don't know. He had an opportunity to go for the move into turn 1, and then kind of backed out of it, and then just
I feel like he's just pumping the brakes. Oh no, he spun!
Woo!
Kevin's around! And
Saved it,
past
though.
goes Mark Ponick. Good save, though.
He just about saved it. Reed sets the new fastest lap of the race.
I feel like that's why Kevin couldn't catch up to Reed, because Reed was blasting that lap.
He's on a
New
controller.
fastest lap. On a controller, 136.2. Phil Reed on a controller. This is the view from Mark Ponick up ahead of Keeman's spin. Sees the smoke, goes down low, and avoids it. Up in the fifth.
I think he, in your words, gave it too much mustard too early. I'm going to steal your phrases now. Oh!
Oh! That's James Byrne and Luis going at it with each other heading into turn one.
I think they kind of just...
Got a little
I don't know, they
spicy
just
with
fell over
right
each other.
there.
They kind of just fell over each other, though.
Might have to have a relook of that move heading into turn one, but I feel like we're going to get another view of that very soon, as James and Luis definitely gave it a little bit of spice on each other.
Yeah, they, as I said, it kind of just looked like they were being very clumsy towards each other, but we're going to get another angle of it here. I believe this is James trying to defend. Yeah, he was. I think he might have used DRS there. Yeah,
oh, definitely.
He definitely did. And going into turn one, James
he really sent it into that corner, maybe a little bit too much. Locked up the brakes, and James trying to find the apex of the corner, and unfortunately, Luis is kind of already spinning because of that lockup. So a mistake by Luis is still allowed James Byrne to be in this fight. James in that draft, and yes, Luis is using DRS right there, heading into Parabolica. James right on that gearbox. He's as close as he wants to be, that he can look into the mirrors and see Luis's eyes of where he is looking. If only mirrors work like that in iRacing.
I think
it looks like Luis
DRS.
defending onto the inside. James trying to, oh, he is sneaking his way, threading the needle, forcing his way down to the inside. Luis goes very deep, a little bit of a lockup right there. James Byrne trying to hold it around the outside. And yes, James does do it round the outside of the second part of the first chicane. James Byrne back into 11th, and now Luis on the attack. And Luis going down low.
Yeah, I think Luis lose 2 DRS activations that lap, but this time didn't need to. Jeez!
He's hop, skipping a jump over the curves, and unfortunately for James, that does not feel good in a single-seater car. But James, that was a send into that corner, trying to hold it around the outside. And Luis, well, breathing easy that James did, that they did not get into a collision with each other, but they're still in this fight.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. I think James saw that he didn't brake as late as he wanted to, then kind of got out of the brakes and just messed it all up into that second chicane. It was a bit of an odd one, but managed to keep it just about on the track and didn't make contact with Luis.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Definitely. I'm surprised he didn't make contact with Luis, so fair play.
Yeah, it could have been way worse. Eddie Samborski, 2.5 seconds ahead of everybody else, and taking the turn to the second set of chicanes, like it was a Sunday afternoon. Turn 4, second set of chicanes. Turn 2, the actual Italian word that I'm going to butcher if I even attempt it.
Yeah, some of the corner names on this track are...
I'm not Italian. Marco was really good at it.
I'm good at Imola turn names. Not this track though. Apart from Ascari, which everyone knows.
Yes.
So. And the Lesmos. And Parabolica.
Parabolica.
And Curva Grande.
Formerly known as Parabolica. But I can
Everyone
never remember.
still calls it Parabolica.
I can never remember what they renamed it to.
Nobody does, because nobody cares. It's still called Parabolica. Everyone calls it Parabolica.
I guess the family that it's named after does care.
I don't. I never did. Parabolica is his name.
Legendary corner.
Agreed. Even though not really much has ever happened there, but you know.
Well, a Formula 3 car did take flight there.
Yes. It was a bit scary.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit.
Sausage
Anything.
curves should not be on racetracks.
Oh no, 100%. This is the worst track for it, I think, because we saw the Aston Martin last season. I think
Yes.
shoot off into
That-
the distance.
Yes, that was at Monza as well. As this is Stewart putting pressure on Dennis Stewart, going down low for 7th place. As they go side by side, Josh Stewart on the brakes and making that move look easy right there. Jumps up into 7th place. We go Crespo and Eric are swapping spots right behind them heading into turn 1. That's Eric jumping down low and getting another spot on Miguel Crespo. It's not the first time that we've seen that move actually between these two.
Yeah, yeah, actually. What? How did Eric end up behind Crespo?
I think
Again.
Eric has had a little bit of an issue. Just a little bit of off track here and off track there. And now just trying to keep consistently ahead of Miguel Crespo right behind him.
Yeah, I didn't notice that Crespo got past him again, but maybe I'm blind.
I
Which
believe we were watching
probably-
Samborski and Lopez get close to each other as well as a fight for third when that happened.
Probably. I'm not very good at multitasking. Otherwise, I'd be a good cook. I can make toast, and that's about it. How my brain moves on to these topics, I don't know.
Yeah, you made me double take. I know I'm scatterbrained at times, but usually I just stick with racing facts
No, what? Half
most of the
this-
time.
You do not stick to racing facts. That is cap. That
I
is
try
very much
to.
cap. You were talking about animated movies earlier.
You brought up cars
Yeah, you carried on the conversation.
because I'm trying to be fluid.
Are you?
Yes.
Or are you just a noob?
I've been doing this for 7 years.
You can still be a noob. I feel like every single time we commentate, my goal is just to annoy Austin. And it works.
It does, unfortunately.
I'm the reason you want to quit. I don't feel bad.
That's not public information.
It is now. You mentioned it like twice earlier.
Not on broadcast.
Yes, you did. Thank you. No one even heard that, but thank you, Jonathan.
White
I'm not a
flag is
noob.
in the air. And Eddie Samborsi sets a new fastest lap for the race.
To be fair, I actually didn't think he'd set a new fastest lap. I thought Reed was going to keep it, but you never know. Reed might respond. He might have another DRS activation, even though actually I think Zamborski probably has about 8 of them left. But we should wait and see. We should wait and see. As I don't really think there's many on-track battles going on right now. Everyone's
James
never
Byrne
mind.
and Luis fight for 11th side by side, heading into Parabolka, and Byrne round the outside of the Parabolka, around the edge, and can he keep that going? Gets a little bit onto the hashtag turf on the exit, but he's able to hold it
They're both using
alongside of him.
DRS.
White flag open, but white flag out, DRS on, as James tucks right back into that draft. Oh, giving a little bit of a bump draft heading into turn 1. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers heading into the first corner? And lock up by Luis. James Byrne. Well, made him feel the burn right there. Jumps up into 11th.
Yeah, I kind of looked at Louise and thought, that doesn't look right. And yeah, I was right. He locked up into turn 1. And I'm a prophet. Someone who is probably also a prophet, though, is Eddie Zamborski, who won again. Actually, we have one more corner to go. Is anything going to happen? No. Eddie Zamborski comes across the final corner to add another win to the tally of many. He wins in Monza and doesn't set a new fastest lap. Lopez actually does. That is surprising. I think Zamborski actually might have run out of DRS usages towards the end of that lap. But nevertheless, still a good lap from him, as there's still one more battle going on here. Stewart doing a little bit of a dummy move into Parabolica. Can he get the run out of the final corner? Goes all the way off the track but I don't think it's going to be enough. They come towards the line, and yeah, just misses out on 7th spot. Unlucky for Stewart, he was coming through the field, in fairness, from after starting, I believe it was 2nd place or 3rd, and just couldn't quite get into the top 7. But nevertheless, a pretty good comeback from him after those earlier incidents. And Eric Wazamowski in 9th, and Crespo rounding off your top 10. And James Byrne, pretty good race from him as well, having that battle with Louise, who he eventually came out on top with, and Akin coming through the field a little bit, up 7 spots. Your biggest mover in this race, I believe. Actually, no, it was Wazamowski up 9 spots. And Shirakawa with that damaged front wing. Pretty impressive result from him, actually. Carrying that damage all the way to the end of the race. You don't see that very often. And that was a pretty impressive result for him, considering he had, well, half a front wing. But someone who has had impressive result after impressive result is Eddie Zamborski, who continues to surprise absolutely no one. And here are the results for your race today. Eddie Zamborski taking the race win here at Monza. George Lopez, after starting on pole position, will be a little bit disappointed after that turn 1 incident. Sergio Macias in 3rd place. Phil Reed, a very impressive result, as always, on a controller, in 4th place. Ponick in 5th, Keeman in 6th, Dennis Furkheim in 7th, Josh Stewart making a pretty decent comeback to finish 8th. Eric Wazamowski in 9th place, up 9 spots. Miguel Crespo up 2 spots from 12th in 10th. James Byrne for 11th, Luis Marguani in 12th, Akin in 13th place, Shirakawa 14th, Jamie Byrne in 15th, Dennis Cornu in 16th, Tavares 17th, Jason Sieg 18th, Omar Baha 19th, and to round off your grid, Luke Brooker, who unfortunately didn't make it past lap 1, down in 20th place. Bit of an unfortunate race for most of these drivers, as our top 6 got massively shuffled. I don't actually think anyone finished where they started. And we do have Phil Reed waiting for an interview. Austin, would you like to interview Phil Reed?
Yeah, sure. Let's bring him in. Phil, it's great to see you once again up into 4th place after a very good qualifying. How was the start of this race? I know you got a little bit caught up in that first lap incident, but you certainly made a show out of it, moving up through the field and back up into 4th. How was that today?
Yeah, it was very good. Obviously, slightly frustrating start, but
It's Monza.
it's one of the it's Monza. It's one of those ones that happens. And to be honest, I got away lucky, I guess. I didn't take on any damage as far as I can tell. And yeah, then it was, I was thinking, after qualifying 3rd, that was unexpected. I didn't expect to be there. And then, got to do a nice little race up the field. Went through, a few people. Caught the 2, Mark and I am, having a good battle, and then I caught them, and I was able to go through quite quickly. I think I got a bit lucky with where I caught them. I was able to go for 2 in 1, and then, yeah, after that, it was just really put the laps in, try and break Keeman, who drove very well to keep up, and then luckily for me, he had a small mistake, and then yeah, it was clean there, and yeah, it was good.
Well, it was a very good race, and glad you are feeling up the spirits. And once again, to do that on a controller is just, yeah, I still can't understand on how you're able to do all this, but hey, it's just what makes your performances always so much more special. We head to Twin Ring Motegi next week. Are you looking forward to that race?
Yeah, Motegi's I do like Motegi. I feel like it's a severely underrated track, which just means I like it more than I think most people do. Yeah, I do like Motegi. I've never been super quick there though, so we'll see. I have my fair share of mistakes here and there, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, glad you're looking forward to next week. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank?
I'll just thank the wonderful community again. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these, again, and it's nice to come back every time when I do, and seeing the people still here, Ed sorting stuff out, thanks to you guys for again putting on the broadcast. I'll certainly watch this one back. So yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I'll just say general thanks to the people.
And thank you for putting on a great show out there, out on track. Phil, before we head off, Aaron, any final words?
Thank you, Monza, I guess. It was fairly entertaining, I'd say. Just standard Monza proceedings with turn 1, that's all.
Well, Formula 3.5 Championship live from Monza here on Apex Racing TV. We head to Twin Ring Motegi next week here on Apex, so it's going to be a lot of fun over there. I've been joined by Aaron Smith with Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.